When was the last time you felt like a failure? What did you say to yourself in that moment? How did it feel? You see, failure is only a feeling. It's a feeling that is created by the story we tell ourselves about what happened or what didn't. The roots of how we experience failure run deep. Our ability to handle the ups and downs of life is something that is wired into us over time. The first time I experienced my real, hard, proper fail, I was in my 20s. But how I dealt with it, I believe, goes back to a time when I was just 9 years old. It's my birthday, and the house is filled with the paraphernalia of a little girl's birthday party. My family gathered to watch me open presents, and there, among the boxes and the shiny wrap, I see a simple white envelope. On it says simply, "For Victoria." I pick it up and I scan the room to see who gave me the little gift, and my eyes lock with my great aunt, Nina. She's the one that always gives me the good presents. "Open it later," she says. So that evening, I pick up and unfold the card. Inside, there is a poem, and it says this: "If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with trial and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same." That poem, If, by Rudyard Kipling, became my emotional sanctuary, even into adulthood. Its words were always like a balsam to a frazzled soul. In my childhood brain, I understood the profoundness of these words. They pointed to a gap between perception and reality. It planted the seed that there's a distance between events that happen and the story that we tell ourselves. And if you can control that distance, then you can interpret life on your own terms. The time that I really needed that message was when I was 20 years old. I'm alone in a dark room. The only light is the dull blue glare of a computer screen. I'm reading the words that I type again and again and again. But even though I've read them for 1,000 times, the words still don't make any sense. See, I'm a student at Oxford University, and after almost 2 years into my course, I am writing to my Dean of Studies telling them that I will not be returning from vacation break. I am sorry to inform you that I will be leaving Oxford University, the email says. After one last hesitation, I press send. And I can feel the magnitude of the decision I made land on my shoulders. Quitting a university degree is a hard thing to do. But it's especially difficult when you've got the opportunity to study somewhere like Oxford. In fact, since I was a little girl, I was determined that I was going to go to Oxford University. But now that it was actually happening, I couldn't deny that there was a difference between reality and how things had looked like in my dreams. In fact, just a week or two after starting my degree, I'd realized I had made a terrible mistake. I'd got in to read ancient Greek, having never studied ancient Greek before, and now I was studying it at Oxford University. To say that it was all Greek to me was a major understatement. I had imagined myself casually floating around thinking about mythology and vases and all the things I was genuinely passionate about as a classics nerd. But instead, I found myself neck deep in ancient Greek grammar. Have you ever found yourself being forced to do something that you desperately did not want to do? That was me. Greek grammar was something I was failing, and I was failing at it 15 hours a day, every day, for almost 2 years. And as you can imagine, I was unhappy. But the idea of quitting was something I never entertained. I did not want to let something as insignificant as my happiness stand in the way of me attaining that goal. For me, success was staying at Oxford University. Anything that was not staying at university was failure. We can rationalize so well to ourselves why sticking with a thing is the right thing to do. But in reality, we're just afraid. Afraid of risk, afraid of something new, afraid to fail. So we'd rather plod on through familiar unhappiness. Better the devil you know, we say. As people, we're so good at convincing ourselves that we want the things that we actually don't want. And we make up very sensible sounding reasons why we can't have the things that we actually do want. Tony Robbins says it like this: the only thing keeping you from what you want is the story you tell yourself about why you can't have it. After I quit Oxford, I didn't feel happy or free. I felt scared and wondering what to do next. But even in that dark hour of the soul, I somehow managed to ask myself the question, what was it that I had failed at anyway? Who decided that me getting an Oxford University degree through all that pain was my definition of success? And more importantly, when did I decide to believe them? We spend our lives steering away from failure and towards success, whatever shape that takes for you. Good grades, a great job, a big house. We place our happiness and our sense of self-worth into the hands of the people who hold these tokens of success. Our teachers, our boss, our parents. And when our behavior meets their standards, we succeed and we get to feel good. And when our behavior doesn't meet their standards, we fail and we don't get to feel good. So my question to you is, in whose hands have you entrusted your success and happiness? It had better be yours. Because if you don't define what success means to you, others will do it for you. And that's what I had decided to do. I had decided to define what success meant for me. And now that I didn't have to lie to myself or pretend to be happy, it was actually pretty clear what that looked like. Just a week later, I was on a plane to sunny Australia to begin my new life. There, I graduated with ease. I got my dream job. And I began to live a life that fit me much better and for the first time felt truly mine. I had come to Oxford looking for a degree, but I left with the most important qualification of all, a master of designing your own destiny. In conclusion, there are 3 things that I hope you take away from this talk. Firstly, pretending that everything is fine is not really strength. It takes courage to see things as they really are. It takes a brave person to realize that all that effort that you're putting into making something work is not working. Secondly, the stories you tell yourself about your life will determine your destiny. So please, tell yourself good stories. Tell yourself stories that empower you rather than disempower you. The difference between triumph and disaster lies with you. And finally, failure is only a feeling. And you can manage that feeling. And the way that you manage that feeling is by telling yourself a different story about what happened. A story that serves you, a story that inspires you, a story that is best for your life. So the next time that you're staring down the abyss of failure, wondering just how far you'll fall, just remember that in that messy madness could very well lie the seed of your biggest, ultimate success. Thank you.